time. Come dream a trip with me. Come take a trip with me. Come take a trip with me, that I might know your mind. Chorus. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. And a rose in the winter time. That was fun. Let's sing another one. Two more? Two more.
Let's leave out where did we come from today.
Yeah. All right. But just so you know, we will be singing more at this time, so join along. One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. Nice. One more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word. One more prayer, we will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer. One more song, we will sing one more song, till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song. One more verse. One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. Nice. Welcome, all are welcome, and all are welcome to sing. This is one of our favorite tunes, and I thought it would fit with our theme today. If you know Blue Boat Home, please sing along. It's in your teal hymnal, 1064, or follow along on the screen. Here we go. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my last phrase again. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue home. Thank you for singing.
I thought it would be fitting for today to read a few stanzas from the Havamal, the sayings of Odin, the god of traveling and wisdom, about traveling and how to treat traveling guests. Blessed be the givers. A guest has come in. Where is he going to sit? He is in great haste, the one who by the log stack is going to try his luck. Fire is needful for someone who's come in and who's chilled to the knee. Food and clothing are necessary for the man who's journeyed over the mountains. Water is needful for someone who comes to a meal, a towel and a warm welcome, a friendly disposition if he could get it, speech and silence in return. I was young once, I traveled alone, then I found myself going astray. Rich I thought myself when I met someone else, for man is the joy of man. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. My name is Enoch Anglin. I'm on the Welcoming Congregation Committee. I'm in the Web of Life and in the choir. And I'm glad to see you guys here. Unitarian Universalism is a religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of our interconnections, connections to each other, to all of life, and to the precious universe of which we are a part. We affirm the universality of love and hope as we journey together in community, and we welcome you, whoever you are at this moment and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. For those of you joining us online, welcome. If you are new, please check out our website, uufayetteville.org, for more information. For those of you visiting us for the first time in person, you'll find a visitor information card in the seat back in front of you. We'd love for you to fill one out so we can get you on the email list and keep you informed of our events. Later in our service, we will have a time where you are invited to come forward and drop a stone symbolizing your joy or concern into a bowl of water. If you have a joy or concern you'd like to share, we invite you to fill out one of the yellow cards you will find on the seat back in front of you. There's a place on there to indicate if you want your joy or concern shared aloud or if you want it to be confidential and shared only with leadership. If you fill out a yellow card, you can bring that forward at any time. If you are online, you may write your joys and concerns in the comments there at that time. Please note that those comments will be public. If you have a need for hearing assistance, our AV Tech David can help with that. Children are always welcome in our service, but there is a staffed nursery available downstairs if you prefer. And please remember to silence your cell phones as we enter into our service. Dr. Sevin Gallo teaches world history through the lens of food at Northwest Arkansas Community College. Her honors classes meet at Brightwater, a center for the study of food, and at local restaurants. In these non-traditional environments, students examine different historical processes while considering how food systems and food culture shape the human experience. Sevin has a PhD in Modern Middle East and Latin American Comparative World History from the University of Akron and an MA and BA in European History from Kent State University. Her research focuses on the ways nationalism, popular culture, foodways, and modern state formation intersect. In addition to teaching world history, Sevin works as the Global Studies degree coordinator at NWACC, and she leads study abroad programs to Greece, Spain, Morocco, and Turkey. She's lived in Istanbul and loves traveling so much that she started a boutique group travel company in 2019. She loves to coordinate travel experiences that foreground authentic local cuisine with each destination's significant historical and cultural contexts. Her current group travel programs include Morocco, Argentina, Greece, Turkey, France, Spain, and Tanzania, including the famous spice island of Zanzibar.
Oh, Oh, I'm just kidding. Chalice lighting. Fawn will light our chalice this morning.
Simmer down, girl. If y'all like, please join me in the lighting of the chalice. The words are up there. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and truth, and to help one another. Thus do we covenant together. Please.
Okay, for our opening hymn today, we are going to be singing hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Rise as you are able in body or spirit. And this is a round, and you know how I feel about rounds. I love rounds, right? So we will do this in two sections. This half. Jory will lead this half. I will lead you all. And we're going to sing it unison, unison, round, round. That's how we'll roll it. Okay. Yay! Ritual of joys and concerns. And what we are about to do is the same thing as thousands of other UUs are doing this morning, dropping stones in water. I love that connection that moves us all throughout the Unitarians of the world, that the ripples from our water connect with the ripples from other Unitarians across the globe. So, if you filled out a yellow card, now is the time to bring that up and to drop a stone into the water. And all are welcome to drop a stone. You don't have to bring a Joys and Concerns card up. You can simply drop a stone. You may come forward. Jory, will you play some music for us? Thank you, Jory. Here in this space, we are gathered to be together today. Here we are gathered, called to be a community, like a family, our UUFF family. Here we have gathered to remind ourselves of joys and goodness and to hold space for each other through the hard stuff. Part of our gathered space are folks that are attending virtually on Facebook. Virtual UUFF. We're so glad y'all are here today. Jean, are there any joys and concerns from Facebook this morning? Not today. Well, beloved Facebook attendees, we are here with you. Here in this space, some of us have come in pain. Enoch, will you drop a stone for the unnamed sorrows today? To those who are suffering today, we are with you. May we pause, take a few breaths, and hold gently all the concerns, named and unnamed, that are gathered in this room today. Breathe with me. And in the complexities of community, it is right that some of us come with joy bubbling in our heart. To those who have big joys today, we are with you. Enoch, will you drop a stone today for all of the unnamed joys? May we pause and take a breath, rejoicing together, remembering the wisdom that says joys are multiplied when they are shared. Breathe with me. One more. Here in this space, we are called to weave the web of community. Let's remember these shared joys and concerns and hold our community in our hearts this week. Enoch's busy this morning.
Now it is time for the offering. I would once again like to share another stanza from the Havamal, one that I believe highlights the idea of reciprocity as I talked about in another service. A man not need to give only a big gift. Often you buy praise with a little. With half a loaf and a tilted cup, I've got myself a companion. The important work of this fellowship is possible because of your generous contributions of time, talent, and treasure. Every contribution of every size is helpful and appreciated. As we pass the offering baskets, we invite you to share financially. If you prefer, you may give at our website, by texting online, or mailing checks to our office. Will the hosts please come forward and pass the offering baskets?
For our anthem this morning is Shower the People, and my son Adrian Griffin is our soloist today.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing a fool? One thing can be to another, doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister, brother, other, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do what I say, just shower the people we love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. Now what you gonna do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, that's when it'll begin to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel only getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Wish that I could do to you, just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Whoa. Yeah, oh yeah. You'll feel better right away. Don't take much to do. Sell your pride. I say, they say you never lie. They say the rain must fall, just like pouring rain. Make it rain. Make it rain. Love, 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 and sunshine. Oh, oh yeah. Make it rain. Love, 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 and sunshine. Oh, all right. Everybody, 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 everybody. Shower the people you love with love.
That was really lovely. Adrian, I believe, right? That was so nice. You have a wonderful voice. Choir, accompanying musicians. I really enjoyed that. Very nice. I am so happy to be here. So first, thank you, Gene, my boss. I will try very hard not to embarrass him. I swear he didn't, tell me I had to or anything like that. He's not that kind of boss. And thank you, Renee. You are all so welcoming, and I loved coming here over, I think it was in 2021, maybe, we were kind of starting to turn a corner in the pandemic, so it was one of the first things that I did out in public, and so I will always remember that. And of course, the big takeaway was how welcoming and interesting and cool you are. So I feel really happy here. I feel like I'm in a congregation of people that I share a lot of the same values with, so it feels special. So thank you very much for having me. I appreciate you all. So I'm here today to talk about why we travel. As Enoch said, I direct study abroad at NWAC, and I've led group travel trips, to a lot of different places. I started a small company because I liked it so much, and I like adventuring, and that all started when I was really young, and I got interested in really, as somebody who, probably overthinks about everything, why do I love this so much? And loving traveling so much was something that made me feel really human when I started digging into it, because it is something, whether you travel across the street or down the road or across an ocean, it's something that is an integral part, an essential part of the human experience. Or if we travel in our minds, which is something that I've spent a lot of my lifetime doing. In 2017, before the pandemic, over 4 billion people flew on an airplane on the planet. So there's about 8 billion people on the planet. 4 billion people were passengers on an airplane, which is just incredible to me for a lot of reasons. Of course, thinking of the carbon impact, but not putting that aside just for a moment to think about that, where were they going? Why were they going? Did they want to? Did they have to? All of those things. Something that's very interesting to me. I started looking up when I would communicate, why study abroad? Because that's part of my job at NWAC, to try to recruit people to study abroad. And I would come up with all of these facts and statistics, like if you study abroad, you are more likely to be hired within the first year that you graduate from college than if you're not, by a tune of 90% who study abroad are hired, and where 49% of college graduates find jobs within 12 months after that. So there's all of these kind of businessy, economic incentives to study abroad, but I find that I hardly ever emphasize that, because as much as we all like money, and thank you guys, I forgot that I was getting paid for this, and I was quite delighted to get a check this morning, so thank you very much. We all like to get paid, so there's those economic motivations, and I think that could be part in the social cool currency that you get when you travel. I think that that's part of it, but it's certainly not all of it. And I find that most people who want to study abroad, or who sign up to travel with me, or who, want to do a girls' trip to Eureka, it's not about what you're going to get in regards to material things. It's what you're going to learn, and it's who you're going to interact with, right? That is what we end up talking about. And I think part of this is something that is just natural humanness. Part of it, I think, is cultural. And then maybe a little bit of that is that economic materialist incentive. So I just wanted to share with you a list, some surveys. I compiled a list from a variety of surveys from some of our students at NWAC, but then other travel magazines where, reasons, various top 10, top 5, top 15 reasons to people travel. And I just want to share with you some of the things that I thought were most interesting and some of the things that I hear over and over and over again. People want to travel to explore new places, to take up new hobbies, to work on self-development. I can hear, my my mother, and mostly my mother-in-law, Sevin's off finding herself again, kind of in a, they're teasing me. I don't think that that's a very good reason to go to some far-flung place, but I think a lot of people, this is part of it, that, self-development is absolutely a reason to travel. To strengthen relationships. Though there's a really hilarious SNL skit with Adam Sandler about a late night, Gene, you remember? They traveled to Italy. I wish I could think of the real commercial, the company that would send people to Italy, and Adam Sandler spoofs it and says, if you and your wife are fighting every day at home, if you go to Italy, you probably will still fight every day. Like, it's not going to change your whole life. And a lot of it had to do with, interpersonal relationships and conflict. Like, so if you can't stand the person that you live with, if you go to Italy, you probably still can't stand them. However, even though there's, like in all funny things, there might be a little kernel of truth to that, but I do think that traveling helps you strengthen relationships. When you problem solve together, when we share new experiences together, that collective learning is huge. You get creative together, and that can really help build relationships. So I thought that that was a really good one. You travel to meet new people, which is one of the delights of my life, absolutely. You travel to escape from reality. Yes, for sure. Guidance, you travel for guidance between stages of your life. So if you're going through something and you feel, a watershed moment, taking a trip can help you think through, how to move on if you lose your job or lose someone or you experience some other kind of significant change. If you're getting older, taking a big trip can help you navigate that. Traveling, taking time to travel means that you're freeing up time to do nothing, which feels like such a luxury, right? So that was a reason that I thought was interesting. People like to travel, you see this over and over again, to try new foods, which I like to capitalize on as someone who likes to eat a lot. As much as I'm a historian, I think I'm a professional eater, so that's a major motivation for me. And people like to travel to understand new cultures, to learn new languages. People travel for educational purposes. A lot of people mark that they like to travel because they want to give back. And I get requests, we've done service learning projects with Study Abroad. People like to travel to destinations that are maybe a little off the beaten path, so maybe not London and Paris, but go somewhere where there's a community that could use your travel dollars. People are thinking about that and being conscientious about that. So I see traveling to give back a lot. And people also travel now for their mental health because they feel like it helps them be creative, it helps them find some peace and to think of things differently, to get a fresh perspective. And that's something that I see over and over again, that I would say that I see more now than I did when I first started looking up these things kind of years ago. So all of these things together, I think they share some essential things that is part of our human DNA, which got me digging, thinking about why the earliest humans moved around the world, which is something that I teach about in World Civilization, every semester. We've been about the same biologically for 150,000 years, right? The first people. And we moved around Africa in bands of usually between 25 and 50, but really no more than 150 people living together and moving around together for tens of thousands of years. But we moved around Africa, and if you're in my classes, you would see I love to put this map of Africa that shows, all of China, all of the United States, all of Russia, and all of Europe, and a few other places like Japan, squeezed in the continent of Africa. It's really big. So it wasn't like these early humans for 70,000 years were just hanging out in one location in Ethiopia or Tanzania in the East Africa. They were moving around and traveling a lot. And interestingly, they moved from group to group. There's a lot of evidence that you didn't stay in your group of 25 to 150. People moved. They joined other groups. And people were moving around for for food, right? We were hunters and gatherers and for food, but people were also clearly moving around because they were curious, which is one of my favorite words and one of my favorite notions, right? Curiosity. I'm a very nosy person, I think, and so if the thing that killed the cat is probably going to get me someday, and I hope that's true, right? I'm extremely nosy and curious, and I think that these people had to be too. I mean, maybe they moved groups because, well, for conflict resolution, we can't know, right? We don't know. They didn't leave a lot of evidence to explain. We know that they did, but maybe they moved for a change of scenery, a change of social scenery, to meet new people, like the people who travel now. Probably like we travel for all of these things, they probably traveled for all of these same reasons too. So, you know, moved around in Africa, and between 60 and 90,000 years ago, people walked out of Africa, and then we walked all over the planet. And in some cases, climate crises like droughts in East Africa and greening in the Middle East and what is the Fertile Crescent, and can explain luring people to move, this kind of material push, this economic, you know, survival essential need to get out of town, which people travel for those reasons now too. But also there's lots of periods of time and places where there was enough of the environment was abundant enough that people could have sustained for generations and generations and generations, but we still combed the beaches, right? We looked for, you know, around the bend and around the cove until we walked all over the planet. Because we wanted to see what was over that hill, right? What was around, what did that next coastline look like? What would we see? What could we taste? What kind of aromas would we experience? Would it scare us? Would we like it? We didn't know, but we did it anyways, right? And we still do. The travel writer Eric Wiener, in a National Geographic article, said that travel is one of the only things that we do without knowing the outcome, and we revel in that uncertainty. If you don't experience it, you don't know if you're going to like it or not. But we do it anyways. We sign up to do something that's going to test us anyways. So why do we do it? Well, back to that biological kind of necessity and this emphasis on curiosity, which, I mean, as an educator, of course, I talk about this. My husband said, he's like, great, you can, I told him I'm going to a church. It's, you know, a special kind of church. I'm going to be talking about traveling. He's like, oh, good, you can preach to someone besides me on, you know, why we need to constantly be learning and trying new things. And yeah, so it's good. This feels, I think, you know, being in a classroom and being up here probably feels pretty similar. It does to me. So this doesn't feel too foreign. I like it. But so talking about curiosity and why we like to learn new things, I've, you know, become interested in our physiological, you know, brain chemistry, why we do these things. And I was so fascinated to learn that, you know, whatever, like if there's a loud noise outside, right? Or there's a bolt of lightning in the sky, or the sunset is a peculiar pinky orange that, you know, makes us wonder why, right? What happened and why? We do that. And what happens in our brain, initially, the things that fire up are uncertainty. We're uncomfortable because we don't know what it is, so we feel uncertain and uncomfortable. So it's not a pleasurable thing that happens first. But right after that, the part of our brain where we're trying to learn and problem solve and make new memories, all of that section of our brain goes through, like, just lights up like wildfire if we're looking at it from, I don't know, whatever they call the kind of scan where they, you know, you can picture how they're studying these things, like how people's brains light up. So we go into this tense educational learning aspect. And it turns out we are physiologically built or developed to like that, Because right after we learn something new and commit it to memory, and this curiosity, danger, new experience fires up all of those things, this experiencing it yourself and learning about it yourself, and then you learn, and then right after that, all of our reward sensors go off like crazy. So we get a reward for being curious. Our bodies like it. Our brains like being curious. So it's like a curiosity reward. So if you are curious about something, if you learn something new, for the sake of just being curious, these internal factors, that's what you look at for trying to measure curiosity. Are you getting an external reward, like you're going to get a job faster? Or is it an internal reward, something that is harder to measure in dollars and cents and promotions, but you feel it inside of you and you just want to know more? You get an internal reward. Your reward centers go crazy. So we like that. It feels good to learn new things. And I think travel is really, that I think has to play a big part in it, because we all like to move and try new things. And it doesn't have to be, a big glamorous trip or walking across Indonesia or something as an ancient traveler, right? It doesn't have to be that far. We can experience difference, which is so much of what this is, right? Experiencing difference, taking time to experience and appreciate and reflect on learning something new, I think goes a long way to explain why we travel. So, I think that it's probably not a coincidence that some of our earliest forms of literature are epic journeys, right? Think of Gilgamesh, walking around the Middle East. Ibn Battuta, right? He's, a long time after Gilgamesh, and there was the Odyssey before that. And so many other things. We collected stories of travelers. Ibn Battuta, the 14th century famous Moroccan traveler who went all the way to India, and his book was probably one of the first bestsellers. I shouldn't say probably, it was. He said, traveling, the thing that makes you speechless then turns you into a storyteller. We love to consume stories of people traveling. And I think we're happy for them. We're excited for them. We kind of live vicariously through those journeys, all of those epic adventures. Culturally, we like that. But then I also think something that we all share of, kind of cross-culturally is hoping and dreaming. And traveling is hoping and dreaming. And also back to the brain chemistry and the science of why we do this. Good news for people who maybe don't have it in the budget to travel right now, or have things in their life that make it hard to take a vacation. You get thinking about traveling and planning a trip, going through the process of doing the research and hoping to travel someday. So thinking about your dream vacation. I really want to, I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. I want to drive the coast from San Francisco to Vancouver. That's a dream. And thinking about it lights up our reward receptors and all of those things as much as actually doing it. So dreaming and hoping. Travel is dream, travel is hope. And I saw this in so many of the songs. And I was like, yes, this is exactly why we do it, because we like to hope. We like to learn new things, and we like to hope that things will be better, and we want to make ourselves better, right? And traveling helps us do that. And essentially, it makes us more creative, and it makes us more broad-minded. And I think as much research as there is that shows about kind of a human aversion to change, there's more that shows how much we like to dream and how much having big dreams is essential. And travel is that. It's a big, epic adventure fever dream sometimes, where you have to sharpen your problem-solving skills, which we actually, as much as a problem hurts, we like it. We like to get through it. It feels good to accomplish things. It feels good to think through these things. So I think this is why we travel. I would love to hear your travel stories sometime. If you see me, please tell me where you like to travel. I am excited. We're doing a Japan and Korea study abroad next year for NWAC, and we're taking a group of nurses to the Marshall Islands to try to, I think that there's a really amazing opportunity to help the healthcare experience in Northwest Arkansas by taking healthcare professionals to understand the history and culture and circumstances of the diasporic community here. And I think that that's going to impact the quality of care that Marshallese people have, and also impact what healthcare professionals' jobs are like, and how, their ease and frustrations. So I'm excited about that program. So we have a lot of cool things going on in regards to travel at Northwest Arkansas Community College. If you're interested in any of those things, please, I'm always available to talk about that, unless I'm in class, of course, Jean. And yeah, so I famously didn't look at any of my notes. Let me see, I'm terrible at this. I always think I need to have them, but mostly I just like to talk to people. So thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate you. As, who was it? I think it was Henry Miller said that you don't have to travel too far to get a fresh perspective. And I think that that's always true. So I hope that I've, given you something to think about. Coming here always gives me a fresh perspective, and it feels like an adventure. And, it's never really the destination. And I don't even think it's the journey, though. That's what people always say, right? It's not the destination, it's the journey. Probably, but I think more than that, it is how you engage with people and those interactions that make things so meaningful, that helps us check off all of these things on that list, right? It's how you interact. And I think that this is such a positive place, so I enjoy it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Sevin. Thank you so, so much. Oh, I'm just so inspired right now. Okay, let's take that inspiration and sing our closing hymn together. This is going to roll just like the first hymn. It's a round, and we will go unison, round, round. Jory will lead this side. I'll lead you all. This is called Building Bridges.
Building bridges between our divisions,
a great service. Thank you, Sevin. That was wonderful to hear. I wish I could travel more, but you're right. Just a small step could be a travel. So, and if you guys wish, just say with me the extinguishing of the chalice words.
Thank you, Enoch. Oh, Sevin, thank you. Thank you so, so much. We love having you here. When you were here for the bread service in 2022, we all kind of like fell in love with your foodie spirit. And what a pleasure. And now we know that we get to also see your wanderer nature. Thank you so, so much for sharing with us. I adore travel, and I've always loved to travel. And I've also always felt like it was deep in me. It was a deep feeling, a deep like DNA feeling. And now I think, yeah, it is a deep DNA feeling, kind of hardwired to want to wander and see and be curious. One more thing I wanted to say. You mentioned that phrase, curiosity killed the cat. Well, there's a second half of that phrase that I love so much that everybody doesn't use all the time, but curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought her back. This is my favorite part of that phrase. And you also mentioned hoping and dreaming, and this is almost a hobby for we UUs. We hope and dream our future. We want to see a better future, and what a neat illustration to know that if we dream it first, our brain can get there. So I want us to all keep dreaming. Keep dreaming this week as you go out into the world. And I can't wait to see you next week. I'm preaching next week. I can't wait to see you all back. I hope to see you all back. Have a wonderful week, and namaste. Let's shower the people with love one more time. You may go in peace. Thank you.